know, like, did the player actually score or was it the AI? So in here, I need to know whose goal this was. So I'm going to do this real simple. I'm going to make a Boolean, and this is going to be is player's goal. Actually, I'll put a little question mark at the end of that just because. And I'm going to turn this little eyeball on, and by default, this is false. So see right here in the default value section, this is false. So when I pop out here to the level, over here in the detail panel, player's goal is false, player's goal is false. Now, this is the player's goal, so this is the one I want the player to take a shot at. All right. Now, like, you can name this differently, you can like manage it however you want to. I'm gonna go with that's the one that's gonna be the player goal. So when I come in here, now the thing that we marked as that, and I'm gonna want that information over here in my game mode. So over here in details, I'm gonna add an input and player score. And we're gonna do the branch. And then based on that, I'm going to add one to either the AI score or the player score. So now that I have this over here and it exists, I'm going to go ahead and compile and save, because unless I compile and save, this doesn't really exist. And then over here, I'm going to right click in space, type in get game mode. I'm going to go ahead and cast to my game mode because I know I'm using it. And it exists in memory already, so this costs me nothing. So anytime you make a custom event, over here on the right-hand side of the details panel, you can add inputs. So same as a function, you can add arguments and returns. Events are just void arguments or just void functions, so they don't have returns, but you can still add inputs. So just hit the little plus button here, and then name it and pick the type. You can also set a default value if you want, mark the cons, do like advanced other stuff. But for the most part, just give it a name and pick a type. And then when you actually call the function, like I'm about to do here in 2 seconds, you'll see that it pops up here as an input pin on the function call. And then I'm going to just go ahead and put these players' goal straight in there. So if it was their goal, then they score. Which is why I made it that way. Any questions on this part?
How's it going out there? All right.
Okay. So now, whenever ball is set back to where it's supposed to go, we are going to pass to game mode and tell it, hey, you should increment score of either me or the AI. We're then going to get that information, and if the player scored, then I'm going to increment player score, or I'm going to increment the AI score. Just a heads up. So if you pull up here and hit plus twice, this will give you the little increment macro. This is the exact same thing as me doing this.
Yeah. I like it.
So this and this are the same. I just don't want to do this because it's extra. So we're gonna increment score. Now I need to know basically are like did somebody win? Um, so I'm going to basically just take in both of these and check to see if either one is above zero. Above our limit. So I'm going to add a new variable, and this is going to be our score limit because I need to know when we hit one. Compile and save, and then score limit, I'm going to say is 3 for now, just fun. So get score limit, and then I want to check to see if this is actually wants to be greater than or equal to. For these conversion ones, you can actually right click and come down here and pick a slightly different one. You messed up. So I want greater than or equal to, so I'm going to pick that one instead. And I want to do this both times. So no matter which one it is, I could do this, but we really shouldn't be doing this. Um, like you really want to like duplicate code, help it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to make a little function. So I'm gonna go over here, plus on a little function thing, and this is gonna be check if game. Oh, and this is gonna take one input. This is going to be the score. So integer. Check and see greater than or equal to score limit. Because these are member variables, I don't need an input for them. The only reason I have an input score is because I'm going to call one or the other, and I'm not sure which yet. So instead of doing this, I'm going to do this. Now, if the score limit is reached, then I want to, basically call game over and stop. And if it's not, I want to do nothing. So I'm going to create an event dispatcher and call game over. And we'll talk about these in a minute. And
you know what? Forget that. I'll just do it on here. Go away. Okay.
I'm gonna do this one. This let me know also like who actually won. The other way I'll be a little more annoyed.
So I need my game over, and
I'm also gonna need my update score. So update score, I'm gonna need to pass along the scores. So same as before, I'm gonna add two inputs. This is gonna be my player score, and this is gonna be my nice score.
And
I'm just gonna put it both right at the end.
There we go.
Player score.
AI score. False is
Both gonna go in
yeah.
here. And then true, we're gonna go
into
game over. Honestly, no, you know what? I'm gonna keep that separate.
I'm gonna
Call this earlier too, actually. Uh, Game over, I'm gonna add one more input for this.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure
Why?
It's too powerful. Like what you try to demand from is too much. It's too much power.
Apparently. Oh, did you for real cry about? I hate you so much. Okay.
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 I'm gonna do this over again real quick. So we got our score limits. And check against our scores. Game is over. Then we want to call game over. If it's not, then we want to just update and move along. So event
Dispatcher.
Update
Score. Player score and AI score. And again, both integers. Call this pretty much no matter what, right after we actually score. So there. Player score. Okay. And then perfect. And we game over. Call that. Either, and then we need to tell it who won, so.
Player
One, and once again,
Boolean.
boom.
So
I'll save. If the player score one, then yes. If the AI, then no. Alright. So here we're gonna input score of whoever we are told, player score or AI score. We're gonna update the score and then call game over if the game is over. So these are event dispatchers. We have not talked about these yet. This is, if you guys are familiar with the observer pattern, these are like broadcasts or signals. These get just yelled out the window. Like, I don't have a particular target in mind. This is my function or my dispatcher. And I'm going to yell update score or game over. And then I don't care anymore. Like, that's from here on out, this thing doesn't care. So even though we have not implemented this to do anything, if I hit play, it'll like it still functions, nothing broken. And when I hit escape, it's not going to give me any errors. Just nobody cared that I was yelling out the window. So I want somebody to care that I'm yelling out the window. So in order to do that, we need to set up a binder. The easiest way to do this is we're going to pop over here and I'm going to go ahead and right click here in this. And we're going to go down to the bottom where it says user interface, and I'm going to make a widget blueprints. And we're going to click on user widget. And this is going to be my player underscore WBP or widget blueprint. I'm going to pop this up. This has two parts. It has the actual like designer part, which is where we're going to set up the visuals of the widget, and then it has the graph, which is going to look oddly familiar. So first things first, I'm going to go ahead and throw a canvas on this because I need this to have some sort of a panel I can put stuff on. We'll talk more about UI and stuff later on. But basically, it's containers and containers and containers. If any of you have done like web dev or CSS stuff like that, it's basically identical. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab some text and stick that right here, and then compile and save, and I'm gonna just leave that the way it is. The next, I also need to set this as a variable so I can mess with it on the other side. So this is gonna be my store text, and then here on the graph, we're gonna go ahead and set this up. So pre-construct runs every time. Or no, pre-construct runs once at the very beginning when you actually first create this thing. The construct event runs once every time you actually put this on the screen, and tick runs once a frame. I'm gonna just do this when I actually put this on the screen, and then we'll adjust it from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my game mode, and I'm gonna go ahead and cast to my Pong game mode. So Pong. Here. And then I'm going to bind to those events that I made. So where's my default stop? Here we go. So here's bind game over and bind update score. Now if I click on bind, so we'll go ahead and do update score. It just makes me this bind node, which is essentially saying, hey, you need to listen for when this thing yells out. Alright, so basically add me to the list of people who care about this. And it's from this particular object. So I can set up like, on destroyed actor binds, so I can know when a particular thing dies or anything else real. But it's going to just kind of check this one specific object or actor, and then if that yells out this very specific thing, I'm going to do something about it. So create custom events, and this will be handles or update. And then I'm going to actually set the text based on this. So I'm going to go ahead and do set text. And I could set the variable directly, but anytime there's a function, you want to use the function because this probably builds something in the background that may or may not cause you problems. It's kind of scary. So unless you know like a reason you don't want to do this, you should always do the action do it. Um, I'm gonna then format my text, and I want to say player score and AI score. And the way this works is anything you put inside curly braces is going to be replaced with a variable. So here inside player score, I have a little curly braces for P. I now have P pin. Player score goes into the P pin. AI score goes to the A pin because I have a little A here and curly braces there.
Okay.
So now it's going to print out player score colon whatever my score is, AI score colon whatever my score is. If I hit compile and save, I am going to now be able to go ahead and actually I'll look at inside my player controller on begin play goes for fun. I'm gonna add this to the thing. Can't find this sometimes. So if you are actually so number one, make sure you're actually inside of the HUD class when you do it. Number two, make sure that the text over here is set to is variable. Because if this is not a variable, it won't show up over here in your variable section. And then make sure you're pulling off of the text block when you do set text. And then make sure you're pulling off of the in text pin when you do format. Because this is context sensitive, text has a format function, so we'll find that for you. And this text object reference has a set text function, so we'll find that for you. If you just click on the space, you may or may not find it. So just try and pull off of the thing that you are messing when you're doing that stuff. In here we go begin play. I'm going to just create widgets. So here I actually defined like this is my widget class. Here I'm going to actually spawn one into the level, and I'm going to put it on the screen then. So player HUD. Owning player is the controller, so it's looking for a player controller reference. Because I'm inside my player controller, see here on PC and for VP, it is a player controller class. So it'll figure this out if I leave it blank. Or you can pull out the type itself if you want to be like explicit. But either way, this will work. And then I'm going to promote to variable. Just in case I want to hold on to this, I probably don't really care in this instance, but so there's my widget graph. And then lastly, I'm going to add to viewports. So earlier when I mentioned pre-construct and construct, pre-construct fires here. where it's actually created. Event construct fires every single time it's added to the viewports. So if I take, if I do like a pause making or something, I'll create that at the very beginning, and then I'll take it on, I'll put it on the screen, take it off the screen as I need, but I'm never gonna make it again. I'm just gonna save it in memory and just it'll stay there. So the pre-construct will only fire once. Event construct will fire every time though. So if you need to like update stuff or get data or whatever, that's not a terrible place to do it. I'm gonna compile and save, and now if I actually hit play, it says text block until somebody scores, and then it actually says what the score is. And from here on out, it will update until we hit 3, in which case it'll just keep going because I haven't actually done anything about the end of the game.
That's cool.
Alright. The end of the game, same thing as before, although last time I typed in bind, lower. If I type in set text, set tooltip text is here, set text under like parentheses text is not going down. But yeah, so if I pull off of here and type in bind, it will do me this, and then I gotta make my own function. If I pull up here and type in assign, game over, it'll actually give me the bind, and it'll make me an event with the correct stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and bind that. And then now I'll know who won. So let's go back to the design real quick, and I'm gonna go ahead and grab more text, throw that up here on the screen. This isn't actually the size of the text box, it's just like where you can click to mess with stuff. If I were to actually make this smaller than the text block, just clicking on the text will do it. So this is really just like your area of effects that you can use to go over. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Let's go with 64, and let's go ahead and put this in the middle, and I'm gonna go ahead and set the visibility on this to be don't. Should be in the behavior. There it is. Visibility. I'll save. So just to double check, if I play, that does not show up straight. So now that we have our other text block here, I'm gonna go ahead and call this win text, and I'm gonna go ahead and set this to his variable again. All right, whatever, don't. And then grab my win text here. Set text. And this time I'm going to just select because I don't actually need to format it, I just need to pick one. So the way this works is based on my boolean, it's going to return one of two values for this to use. So if the player won, it'll pick A. So inside A, I'm going to type in you win. And if it's B, then you lose. And then also I want this to become visible, so I'm going to go ahead and set visibility. And I'm going to pick visible and go ahead and pop that here. Okay. So now, if I were to hit play, it says text block initially again still, although we'll fix that in a second. So now once somebody wins,
User.
on the user, and then that's how that goes. Alright, so does anybody have any questions about how we got here or anything we've gone over so far?
No. Looks like we're good.
Okay, so, what? And um, Game Hub Blueprint here. A particular part? Well, I'm gonna take a picture of this and then drop it in the email. Do this. Cool. Um, so back to our game mode, we're gonna set play. We'll say 3 seconds, and then we're gonna go ahead and quit game because the game is over. And I also don't want to like allow scoring anymore, so I'm gonna also just sort of add a condition to this. And so both of these have to be true. Actually, no, that's not gonna work. Oh well. So that one can go there. I can just do my own.
Game in progress.
As long as game is in progress, then we will keep going, and the default is true. At the end here, I'm going to set game in progress to false. If you hold control, you can move
That's cool.
lines, so you don't have to disconnect or reconnect. So now that's false, and then if I go ahead and play, and now it won't take any more scores. You're stuck through.
Hmm.
And then it kicked me out. I didn't actually hit escape there, it just decided we were done.
Hmm.
As it was told. So good stuff. Alright. One thing we need to do is we do need to essentially tell the DUI that like, hey, you need to update the scores to be 0, 0 real quick, at the beginning. So we're gonna do a. What's that call from here, actually? Make it look good. And score update, 0, 0. So once this is created from the screen and actually set up, then we're gonna just set the scores to 0 and not bother checking because there will be 0. So if I play again, now it is correct. I could have also just typed it in and hard coded that way. It really depends on how you want to handle it. All right. So, anybody have any questions about any of this so far?
What do you think?
We're essentially done with the coding of it, and we're gonna move on to like doing a main menu and then adding polishes.
What text did you put in the HUD viewport? You mean
The designer? I just got 2 text blocks. So like over here on the right, you can grab your text block, or rich text, depending on which one you want to mess with. Rich text is a little more annoying, but once you drop it over here, you can play with the font, size. You can add like different shadowing effects and stuff like that. You can play with notification. And then also here under content, I can actually decide what it says. So I could type in, you win or you lose, and then
His internet died. Now it'll be back on. Hey Jordan, how you doing? You're on the screen. this laptop died or something. Oh, Lord. So I was, AI, we did the scoring and some of the interface. Which is cool. So we're getting to the end of the call. Can you guys pull on? Another question for you. Does it feel like it's shoehorned in the phone game? Meaning, with this time, like I know Jordan, you love it, perfect for you and something to love on rim. But with this time, you better spend doing your own personal capstone game. And so, honestly, I think I like the fact that it's recorded because then that either gives us the opportunity to focus in on the calls and do the stuff here. Or we can still work on our own and then they have to do it later. So I think it's good, I guess, here, even if I guess, Sarah, I call it today. Okay. Yeah, just only one person looked at the project file, most guys. But, yeah, and so we'll keep doing it this way. And just come up with a homework. Okay. Um.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey,
I lost power for a second. That's okay.
yeah, I figured it was your laptop or the power, yeah.
Yeah, no, I have a full ass desk computer.
Okay.
The
Power at the house on it.
all right.
Okay.
So,
Drawing too much power from Unreal.
yeah. Exactly.
Zach.
All right.
All right.
Um,
All right, yeah, so,
um,
any other questions about anything we've done so far or just in general? Next step is basically to add a main menu and then start doing polishing stuff like, particle effects and sound effects and make it look like effect.
Cool.
So, anybody have any questions about literally anything before we move on to the next part? So when you go to format text, the way this node works, and if you put your cursor over the top of it, it explains it. Anything inside curly braces will be added as an argument. So when I put in curly braces P, that adds a pin.
So Matt, here's a question I have that others might. The AI, it's all dependent on how fast the AI paddle can move, right? Because it could win every time if you set the paddle to have the option to move fast enough.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if the AI can, if you or the AI move faster than the ball does, then you will win every time unless you suck. You know what I mean? So-
Can we just set it like an easy, medium, hard? Put a variable up there.
You can, we would need to set up, some way you could actually set that, but yeah, basically, inside the AI, give you the speed here.
Yeah.
We could set this up, with it, like I could set this with an enum, so. Actually, we do that real quick. So if I right click in space here and come up to blueprint, like this little one, I can make an enumeration, which is a fancy word for a list of names.
Okay.
So I'm gonna call this my difficulty enum, and then pop into here, and this is the fancy enum. So I can go ahead and add numerator. I'm gonna call you easy. Medium.
Easy should probably
Come
be
on,
capitalized.
capitalize.
And hard.
Hard. Save and done. So now over here, I can go ahead and make my difficulty setting. And instead of a Boolean, I can go ahead and pick my difficulty Eno. File save. It will default to the first option, so it'll default to easy. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on, and then get, select, and so now instead of setting the speed here, I'm going to set it here. So easy will be 300. This will be, we'll go with times 1.5 and part will be times 2. And if I put that in there, now whatever I have my difficulty setting at is what it'll move at. So if I come back out here and click on my do, now I can just go ahead and go easy.
Oh, that's cool.
medium, to hard.
So that's an enum, so you can put it in a drop down. It's okay. That's cool. Can you beat it on hard?
I don't know, maybe. Probably not, if I had to guess, because the ball itself is only moving 600, so it'll move the same speed as the ball.
So unbeatable. All right.
I mean, yeah, probably. Say like, yeah, even not being able to predict where it goes because it moves faster or as fast, it'll never move.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean that's really all of that is. Then we can also set up like the menu where you pick that ahead of time, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, because you did all the AI before. Yeah. Look at all the nice comments on this package. I mean, this files. See, he took an effort to comment everything a lot.
Yeah, well, so that's for you guys. Typically the way you want to write things is, like it's a sentence. So on begin play, create player HUD widget blueprint. Say that I own it. Set the reference of the widget graph. Add it to the viewport. That's pretty much like straightforward instructions. Having no idea how coding works, if I read this as a sentence, I would sort of understand what just happened.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we want, so that if I come back and have no idea what I'm doing, I can just read this and be like, oh, right, this is what's happening. Same thing in here. I would probably not like this. I would probably comment a little bit because it's sort of like it's just math, so it's sort of vague what you're actually shooting for. But like anything like this I would this is adding the active local offset, so I'm going to move that's sort of flat for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. And basically anything that you're gonna like, you want to use as a reference, go for it. But if it's something that like, you felt the need to like write a paragraph about, you probably want to either break that up or rename some things. I know it's like especially in the beginning, people get like really stuck into like trying to have super short names with alphabet soup. Don't do that. In 3 weeks, we come back and look at this, you'll have no idea what EX was.
Yeah.
Any more questions about anything in here so far? And then next time we'll do the other level, we can start adding like sound effects and powerful effects things.
Yeah. Fun. Yeah. Any questions on this before he leaves? That'd be cool. How does Enum work?
So an Enu is basically converted into a byte. So you can have up to 256 entries in the enum. And you can essentially just, you just make a list and it associates, each thing in the list with its particular number. So in here, I added 3 enums. This one's gonna be 0, this is 1, this is 2. And then inside the actual thing here, I did the pick, but based on the name, and then it knows this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. And then just checks, you know, so like instead of reading easy, medium, hard, you can literally just read 0, 1, 2. That's how it works. But if I had to remember, easy is 0, 1 is medium, 2 is hard. That might not be too much of a pain in the ass for this, but once I start getting into like, like lighting settings where there's 40 of them, you're never gonna remember that. Or, like different enemy types or whatever. It just becomes too much. So this is a way of mapping a word to, a number essentially.
Sweet. Looks good. Really neat.
Alright. In the meantime, because I mentioned we're gonna do the polishing stuff next time. Everybody should take a little bit of time to check out Fab. You are for real with me right now?
Yeah, fab. Does that contain the Sketchfab library? Remember Sketchfab used to had a lot of stuff in it?
I don't know. I think I think it might be have some of the Sketchfab stuff. The main thing they did was they moved a lot of their like the Unreal stuff there. So
So they just made up Fab then. The Sketchfab still around then? I'll find out. I was just it seemed like they picked Fab because they had bought something. But all
oh yeah,
right.
no. Like it definitely owns Sketchfab.
Oh, it does.
They own that company.
Okay.
I don't know if they integrated them or if this is its own separate thing. But like so, Unreal Engine has 62,000 things on it. You can come in here and basically get free stuff, 3D models, 2D assets, all that kind of thing. There is a ton of free stuff in it. So like first of all, every month, right now we do it every 2 weeks, but every month we'll come here and grab your free stuff. I haven't done it yet, but they got like this wooden props environment pack, this little elf guy, and this environment pack. It's like man, it's like $185 worth of stuff.
Cool.
But it's free for the day, so might as well say. They also have all their crystal stuff in here, so anything like photo scan, things like that you can grab. Yeah. There's like plugins, asset packs, Niagara packs, sound effects, all kinds of stuff. So don't be afraid to steal, things from here. Yeah, it's pretty much it. And then, like I said, next time we'll, go through how to add that kind of stuff and make it look like a thing.
Very sweet.